Hey, what's up guys? It's Victor here from Cyborg for Life. I hope you guys are staying healthy. Now today I actually wanted to go over a question that I get asked a lot, and that is, which leg bones should I lengthen? Should I go with my femurs or should I go with my tibias? Now this is a great question, but it depends on a lot of different factors that you need to consider before you come up with your answer. And those factors are going to be, number one is safety, okay? All right. Number two is going to be your proportions or your symmetry of how you look afterwards. Next up is going to be the scarring or the scars that you get from the procedure. Then it's going to be the efficiency or the time frame of the healing, of how fast you heal after the process. And then finally, the price. Okay, so we're going to go over each of these categories and which leg bone I think wins out in each. Okay, so number one is the safety. First and foremost, you should never, ever, ever, that's a little Chris Jericho there, jeopardize your health for any amount of height gain, guys. It's just not smart. In fact, I think most surgeons are not going to lengthen the femur over 8 centimeters, which is just over 3 inches. And then for the tibias, they're not going to go over 5 centimeters, which is just below 2 inches, okay? Because of the fact that a lot of people are not candidates for this type of lengthening. Their muscles are just not flexible enough. They have tight joints, tendons, all kinds of soft tissue inconsistencies, which can lead to muscle and joint contractures, which can lead to arthritis and permanent range of motion loss later on in life. You do not want that complication. Trust me, it's really, really nasty. You can get all kinds of problems, torn ligaments, tendons, and never be able to move around later in life. So do not over lengthen. You got to talk to your surgeon during the consultation to decide what is right for you, okay? All right. Factor number two is going to be your proportions, okay? So the average proportion ratio of the tibia to the femur, okay, is going to be 0.8 with a standard deviation, give or take 0.02, okay? Now, this, in the real world, people are usually not this proportionally perfect, but if you wanted to kind of get this number for yourself and see what you are, you're going to take the x-ray measurement. You have to have the x-ray measurement, because if you try to do this measurement with your ruler, it will not work. There's too much soft tissue in the way and stuff. But anyway, you're going to take the x-ray measurement of your tibia and divide it by your femur, and you'll get the number. So let's say that you're a guy, and let's say that your tibia is 32 centimeters, and your femur is 40 centimeters. You're going to divide the 32 by 40, and that comes out to the perfect 0.8, okay? But let's say that that number is 0.75, something like that, okay? Then what that means is that your femurs are longer in proportion to your tibias. So you may want to go with tibia lengthening if you want perfect proportion. And let's say that if your number is 0.85, okay, then that means that your femurs are short in relation to your tibias. You might want to go with femoral lengthening, okay? So that kind of shows you, if you want to have perfect proportions and look like a, you know, a Greek god statue, then that's what you want to do, okay? But again, proportions is one factor you want to weigh in on if you're just looking for that. All right, so next up is going to be the scarring, okay? So I'm going to talk about the internal nail method because of the fact the external fixator kind of doesn't apply here because they give you scars regardless. But when it comes to the internal nail, the femur is going to have less scarring, okay? And most of the scar is going to be on the right side of your thigh, okay? And since most people, they cover their upper thigh with clothing, they're going to be pretty much invisible to to other people around you. Whereas the tibia, a lot of the scarring is going to be on the front and the side of your leg. And if you're in warmer weather, or if you just like to wear shorts or skirts or whatever, then that is going to be more of an issue for you, because especially if you're self-conscious about scarring, because it's going to be more revealing to the public, okay? So that's something you got to think about there. And again, these are small incisions. They're all about quarter-inch, incisions. However, they can still lead to, some scarring that can last, okay? Next factor is going to be the efficiency. And when I say efficiency, I mean the time frame of healing, okay? So usually the femur will heal faster than the tibias because of the fact that they have a more blood flow supply, and they just heal quicker because of the fact of that. However, you know, you got to also think about that in the tibia, you're not just breaking, in the lower leg, you're not just breaking the tibia, you're breaking the fibula as well, because you have to distract both bones in order to get your height, or else there's going to be some sort of complication, right? So that could be one reason that it doesn't heal as fast, but that also gives two potential chances for non-unions and premature consolidations down there. Whereas in the femur, there's only one potential chance of that, okay? So that's another factor that you need to think about. And then finally, the price. This is the last factor that we're gonna talk about. If you don't already know it, tibia lengthening is usually more expensive, and price being a major factor you need to consider when you're getting the procedure done. If femur lengthening is cheaper, that kind of shows you where I'm leaning here, okay? So which bones should you get done? Like I said, you kind of see where I'm going with this. I usually suggest the femur because you're gonna get more height, you're gonna have less scarring, you're gonna have, usually the ideal proportions are not gonna be as prevalent to people around you because of the fact you can wear clothing over them. The efficiency, you heal quicker, and the price is cheaper. So that kind of all gives the full win to the femur, right? However, like I said, if you're gonna get max height and you wanna go for both the tibia and the femur, then you know, I still think that you sit down with your surgeon, you talk about your x-ray measurements and say, hey doc, how much height can I get from both bones without skewing my proportions too much, jeopardizing my health, and you know, still be on the safe side to get back to my full activity, okay? So that's what you need to talk with your surgeon, but I personally think that the femur should still be first because you're gonna get a lot more height, up to 3 inches. That might actually quench your craving for more height. You never know. You might have just wanted 3 inches, but if you want a full 5 or inches or so, then you need to kind of talk to your surgeon and see if that's something that they can do with you, okay? So, because for me, like, I got the tibia done because when I was younger and I broke my leg, it was at the tibia, and so my left tibia was shorter than my right tibia, and I wanted to have, you know, I was in bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding, and symmetry was key, right? So I really wanted to kind of make that, like kind of perfect, you know, look on stage, so I didn't get, you know, knocked down points or whatever. And so my doctor actually wanted to do the femur, but I was young, dumb, and I told her no, I wanted to do the tibia. So it probably wouldn't have mattered. In fact, it probably would have been better to do the femur because I could have came back to my sport quicker. But it doesn't matter. It's done. And like I said, I was just stupid. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you got some insight into which leg bone you should get done if you're considering leg lengthening surgery. Remember, the factors are going to be your safety, your proportions, your scarring, the healing time frame, and then finally the price. Okay, you got to consider all those factors when you're linking into it. If you found this video helpful, go and hit that thumbs up, help your boy out. Subscribe, we're going to have more videos coming your way. And until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out.